What's up, family? My name is ElijahAmmi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a grown folk channel. This is where we have heart-to-heart conversations and keep it real. Here on this channel, everybody matters. Everybody's family. Here on this channel, we express love because at our core, we are love. I love you guys, and thank you for being with me on this beautiful journey called life. Peace. What's up, family? Man, I have a special guest on today. It's Erika by way of Texas. What's going on with you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for stopping by and doing this with me. So, talk to us. What's going on with you?
Well, I'll just give you a background of me. Growing up, I always knew there was something, I don't want to say different, but I was always able to like read people, read energy. You know, as a youngin', my intuition was always very heightened. And in fourth grade, I was hit by a car, right? So it was me and my big sister and a neighborhood friend in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's where I was born. That's where I'm from. We would walk around the block in our neighborhood. That was like fun stuff to us in the hood, you know, just walk around, seeing everything, seeing everybody. So we was walking around the block and we got back to my friend's house and something told me, I got a really sharp gut feeling. Something told me don't go again. And I sat down and I told my big sister, like, I'm not going to go this time. But you know, us as humans, we don't follow our intuition. So she was like, okay, we're going to go. But I didn't want to sit on the steps by myself. You know, I was in fourth grade. So I'm like, they walked off and everything. And I ran up and caught up to them like, okay, I'm going to go again. Well, when we reached the other side of the block, there was a drunk driver. He hopped the curb and he hit me. And I got hit by a car. It could have been bad. You know, I was a young girl. And then I knew because it comes out now all the time, how much spiritual protection I have. Like my spiritual team, they don't play about me. But I knew then because I was hit on across the street and I landed on the opposite side of the street and I went unconscious. And when I woke up, the only injury I had, my left foot, I have a permanent scar on my foot. It looks like I was burned, but it was like split in half. Okay. But like nothing else broken, like no real, that was bad. Like I had a cast for 3 months, but you know, it could have been a lot worse. So that right there showed me like, okay. And my mom said it like, she was like, it's like God picked you up and just like laid you down because it could have been bad. You know, I could have had a skull fracture. So that's just a little bit of my childhood. So growing up, I always, again, had a strong intuition, knew how to read people. I was always very to myself, as you know, a lot of spiritual people are. We're very much to ourselves. And then as I got older, like I started to get into like horoscopes and things like that. I would read it faithfully every day before I went to high school. I would check my horoscope. And like my friends, they would always, you know, come to me if they were dating someone. They were like, I want Erika to meet them because Erika know how to read people. Like I was just always good at reading people, filling out vibes. People would call me like the observer out the crew. Everywhere we go, I'm just sitting back, I'm quiet, watching everything, right? When I turned 18, I started to getting like readings, you know. I got my palms read. So I was always into spirituality. Never have I ever imagined I would be on the opposite side where today I'm the spiritual advisor. You know, I provide readings and things like that. And pretty much how it all started was in 2015, I relocated to Texas and I met my ex, who is the father of my 2 children, when I was down here. And, you know, that was a very challenging relationship. I like to say a karmic relationship. It taught me a lot, you know. I had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations. And while figuring that out, what really woke me up is, I would like to say, the twin flame journey. I ran into my twin flame at a job that we both were working at. And that connection it was so intense. Those who are on this type of journey, they know it was so intense. It was crazy. We had our little 4 months of, of fame or honeymoon stage, and then the separation came, and bam, like once the separation phase started, that's when everything started happening. Um, that's when like I started channeling spirit more. Like I would hear things and I knew it wasn't my thoughts in my mind. I'm like, okay, like what's going on? I would see a lot of signs, a lot of repeating numbers, all these signs of synchronicity started occurring. And I feel like that was then spirit was trying to get my attention. And I used to be on YouTube a lot. Like I used to watch YouTube like it was TV. And never have I ever looked up tarot readings. Fun story, like when I used to get readings before I started providing readings, I never would get a tarot card reading. Like I used to think like, I don't want a reading where they have to use tools. Like I want you to just know how to read me. So I never was into tarot cards. And so I would never search it on YouTube. But I'm on YouTube, just I would watch, different things. And one day a video pops up, recommended, Twin Flame Journey. Like the title was so capturing, it matched my entire situation. Of course, I clicked on it because I haven't talked to my twin. I'm like, wow, watch the video. It was spot on. And from there, like all these different pick a card, tarot readings will pop up on YouTube. And then I would say like a month or two later, spirit came to me and they told me to purchase my own tarot deck. I'm like, really? Okay. So I go and I purchase my own tarot deck, and the first reading, I think I tried it on my best friend first and my sister, like I did, my immediate family, and they were blown away. They're like, wow, like they were scared, and I was scared because I'm like, how am I good at this, But I know that, like, I mean, some people, it's a natural thing. Like I'm an intuitive reader. So, it was inevitable, I guess. It was a part of my plan, my path. And so from there, I started doing readings, and then spirit, like I would just channel all these different creative ideas. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like growing up, anyone would tell you, I always said I'm not gonna work for nobody the rest of my life. Like I would be quick to walk off a job. I just cannot stand it. Like being told what to do, it doesn't work for me, right? So it just doesn't work. I walked away from some good jobs because people, they treat you any kind of way. And I just knew it like, no, I'm be my own boss. And so, but I never knew what my passion was. But once I awakened, that's when I was like, wow, like I love this. I really started to learn so much about myself, especially through the Twin Flame journey. That's like a self-love journey. So I really got into my, my boss energy, and I've been single ever since. The separation, celibate, just focusing on me, loving me, feeling so empowered. I feel so empowered. And meditation. I have my own little routines now, where I'm just focusing on me, healing. I healed. I put a lot of work in myself, and I'm proud to say that. And shout out to Spirit. Like they gave me so many, divine ideas, creative ideas. Like I never knew that I, could do these things. So the first thing, the idea, like I'll be sleeping and like ideas will just come to my head, and I go get the stuff and I create. So I make crystal manifestation candles. They're beautiful. They're 3D, different things. I have like abundance and prosperity, self-love, love and romance, spiritual protection, grounding, different things. They're infused with crystals, and they have like, I can't even explain it. Y'all have to see it because they're just so cute. And
so where can people see those? Do you sell those?
I do sell them. I will have my website up soon. Okay. Working on it now. I was on Etsy, which people who follow me on YouTube. By the way, my spiritual name is Infinite Goddess Clarity. That's what I'm known as spiritually, professionally. So I had a Etsy shop, but that's no longer. So I will have my website up soon. So if you follow me on Infinite Goddess Clarity LLC, in the bio, you will see the link to my official website once it is up. So I make candles, I make clothing, different spiritual phrases and things. I make oracle cards and tarot cards. I have about 15. And with those, like spirit, when I channel, it's just go time. Like I make a deck in a day, literally. Like when they telling me down to the messages, to the imagery, I sit down on that. I'll be at that computer for 24 hours. I'll make a deck in a day and be done. I have some with me actually. I have a couple. So like, is and it's not just love decks. Like I have a lot of love decks, but also like affirmation decks, how to break generational curse, like different, career, spiritual journey. It's not just focused on love. So like here's one deck, it's the truth teller. So if you're in separation with someone, this is a good deck. I have a couple other different decks to me. What else do I just like to create, and this is my passion. I found what my calling was, what my destiny is. And yeah, I just love what I do now. I love where I'm at.
That's awesome. Like, what was it? About 4 years ago, I got into tarot reading, right? And I wouldn't tell anybody because I was like real taboo. You know what I mean? Especially
Really?
within the Black community. We didn't do a whole lot of, reading and stuff like that. And the first person I remember as a kid was Miss Cleo back in the 70s. She was like the first Black person that got profound or wealthy off of tarot readings and all that other psychic stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so the first deck I got, I had to get Miss Cleo's deck to honor, pay tribute to her. She's no longer with us in the flesh, she's passed away. But I had to get her deck just to pay homage to her. It's like, hey, you were the first ones to tell us about this. And I was in deeply Christian, kid. And it's like, oh no, that's devil stuff. You know what I mean? And so I grew up thinking, man, tarot cards, oracle cards, pendulums, charms, this is all satanic crap and you're all going to hell. And you know what I mean? And so it was a struggle. It was a struggle for me to be able to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I do read. I can read. I've probably done over 500 different readings. You know what I mean? I make my own charms, my own pendulums. You know what I mean? And it's like I haven't gotten into making tarot cards yet, but that's something that I want to make is some oracle cards. And that's on my to-do list probably within the next month or two to have these oracle cards out. But
that's fine.
How was it for you as far as getting started on those type of cards and those type of things? Did you struggle with that?
It's funny that you shout out to Miss Cleo. That's the first deck I purchased as well. And before I started making my own deck, like I have a ton of Oracle and Tarot decks, but that Cleo deck, that's the deck that, like, that's my go-to deck. That deck is something about the energy on that deck. That the readings are insane with that deck, so that's funny. But I channel a lot, like just all day. I channel from spirit, and so I was like, hey, why not make my own oracle decks, my own tarot decks, and it's a way for me to express myself, creatively as well. I never struggled, honestly, with getting into readings. I just never knew it was what I was destined to do, something I would be good at, Well, actually, I don't know why I questioned it, because I knew how to read people without cards, like I said. But I never worried about, like, because I didn't grow up in a religious, growing up, we were in the church up until I was probably 8, and it was some shady stuff going on in the church, a family church at that. And from there, we just didn't go to church anymore, And I always, growing up, I never resonated with religion. I always had questions as a youngin'. Like, I would be on the internet researching things. I'm one of those type of people. Like, you can't just throw something in my face and I'm going to believe it. Sure. If it doesn't resonate, I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to, like, I've never followed a crowd. I've always been a leader. I'm always it could be a billion people telling me this is something. If my gut, my heart, my intuition said that ain't it, guess what? That's not it. So it's never a problem with me. And I never worried how my family would think about it. Honestly, I'm really close with my immediate family. My entire family is back in Milwaukee. And, you know, I love my family to death. My family's so huge. I just don't talk to everybody. But like my immediate family, they're always open-minded. Actually, since I've gotten on this journey, my sister has, you know, started with her spirituality. My parents, they come to me for readings and guidance. So it was never about being judged. And if I was judged, I wouldn't care, honestly. Because I'm going to always do what's best for me. This is my journey. It's for me to understand and nobody else. So it was never a struggle. But if you want business with creating cards, I can help you. I love doing it. Like I can sit there, I'll make a card every day. I'll make a deck every day. And that's what I'm going to do differently on my YouTube channel. I'm going to start just using my own cards.
That's awesome. You know,
because I channeled these from the divine, and you know, but I channel messages, these imageries. So I'm going to use my own cards.
Cool. That's cool. I'm gonna reach out to you when I start making mine. Right now, I'm working on a magazine and trying to finish this album. But as soon as I get done with these things, that's the next project for me. So I got like a lot going on. But I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things you brought up as far as readings. I kind of got frustrated with readings, and I haven't done readings. I've done one when I went out to Atlanta and when I met with you guys for the first time.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time I've done a reading in over a year and a half.
Wow.
And it's like so many people, every time somebody reached out to me, they were wanting me to do a relationship reading. And it's like, I'm so sick and tired of doing these relationship readings. Spend some time by your fucking self. Learn to love yourself.
Let's talk about it.
You know what I mean? And it's like, and this is what Source is saying. Sit your ass down. Stop looking for some distractions. Stop looking for another person to jump in bed with because you're not dealing and healing with your own issues. And you want somebody else to distract you. You know what I mean? And it's like, every time I turned around, I was getting the same message for different people, but they all wanted, it's like, I would give them this reading on Monday, on Wednesday, they're asking me for another one. And it's like, man, you guys are freaking addicted to freaking readings. You haven't dealt with the first reading I gave you, you know what I mean? And so I was like, okay, I'm done with y'all. I'm done.
No, we are here. Okay. Listen, I used to be on all the psychic platforms, and you know, oh my God, I've got within 2 months, same thing. It's frustrating, especially me being, and I try to remain compassionate and non-judgmental because I understand everyone hasn't put in the work that I put in on myself.
True.
But it's frustrating because, especially as a woman, when I see these women and the things they allow and they tolerate and the lack of self-love.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you and you know it resonates. Again, like you said, on a Monday, this is your message, and you're coming to me 2 days later asking for this thing. It's so I haven't listen. I haven't done readings in a while either. I just did a couple. Because I was told that I have the gift of mediumship as well, which I've been resistant with activating that, but I do like passed on readings. I've helped a couple of people actually. Even it's intense. Like
it is.
I dream it. I've seen murders before it happens. It's intense. So I haven't quite gotten the balls to activate that all the way, but as far as love, and that's why I'm a different type of reader. Like some people, they'll just, some people tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah,
some people,
I'm not
they'll
that
just
one.
tell you about the relationship. I'm always going to end it with a message for self-love. What can you do better for you? Like, don't worry about this nigga or this female. Like, what can you do? Why are you in this situation? And that's what a lot of people, they don't like accountability. It's always, oh, this person did this to me.
Yes.
He hurt me. No, you're hurting yourself because you're allowing this behavior. So
Yes.
listen, I used to be real like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Now it's, baby, this is what it is. I need you to heal and work on you.
Yeah.
Then you attract the right kind of love. Like, we need to make, and it's crazy because I was one of them people too. I always just knew I loved myself. Everybody think they have self-love, but
Yeah,
you
they
don't.
don't. They
You
don't.
really don't. I didn't
No.
realize until I awakened. Like, especially as empaths, I'm sure you can attest to this. As an empath, as a light worker, we attract broken people.
Yes.
But that is not our responsibility to fix them. So I was always the healer approach, that nurturing, babying these men, and that's doing nothing but hurting me. So self-love, listen, I've been good. People, and it's crazy, like, I get people, they're like, how you do it? Like, how have you been celibate for 2.5 years? Like, it's not hard.
Hey, you know what? I commend you on that. I just went a little over a year. And that was like the longest I've ever gone. I mean, no masturbating, nothing. Nothing.
Really?
Just cold turkey, everything. You know what I mean? And prior to that, it's like maybe 2 months. And I thought I was doing big things going 2 months.
But that's good for a man. Like, you don't really hear that.
And so, but I'm about to go on another quest of about a year or so just to go deeper, because you don't realize when you give up sex, when you give up masturbating, just all of that, how you submit yourself, surrender yourself, align yourself to source, to God, the Most High, to use you and to speak to you because you have no distractions. You know what I mean? And you're completely attuned and you're holding all of your energy. You're not just, there's so much release, energetic release when you have an orgasm or masturbate, whatever the case. And you're just wasting that energy, if you will, if that's making sense. Yeah. And we as young people, I say young people, I'm 52 years old almost, but we don't understand the importance of loving ourselves. We don't understand the importance of healthy boundaries. You know what I mean? And when you love yourself, you don't abuse yourself. I mean, you definitely don't let anybody else abuse you. You know what I mean? You don't let people call you outside your name or any of the other stupid stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if you could say something to the young women, if you could say something to the teenagers and the young women up to their early 20s, as far as self-love, because we have this thing in our culture, is running across America that as a young woman, as a beautiful young woman, to get guys' attention, you have to dress provocative and you have to be hoish and skankish and all these other things. And I remember the first time I met you in Atlanta last month.
Yep.
And I never met you before. And for some reason, they had us sitting right next to each other at the table. Yep. And you had such a presence, a commanding presence. You had such an energy, a beautiful aura about yourself. But you were covered up like a freaking nun. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You don't dress like one, but you're completely full covered. You know what I mean? But you carried yourself like a queen. And I was like, man, she gets it. This young lady freaking gets it. I don't know anything about her, but she gets it. And it's like, man, I want to talk to her. And we connected for some reason sitting there. And it's like, man, I want to have her on the platform because I want you to address this. It's so crucial that young women hear this and that young guys who think that, man, if a girl ain't showing their tail or showing their breast, then they ain't nothing to them and they don't have no substance and all that other ignorant stuff. This is yours. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Woo, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's where do you even begin? Value. It's all about valuing yourself. Having respect. You are what you attract. If you do not value yourself, have respect for yourself, then the person or people you're entertaining, they're going to view you in the same way. You cannot expect someone to value if you do not value yourself. You do not need to be half naked to attract attention. You shouldn't even, never chase attention. When you are carrying yourself in a respectful manner. When you are focused on you, you're going to attract the right type of people towards you.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I was having a conversation with my best friend, even about like being on, once I awaken, like I see things so much differently. You know, my perspective is so different, even in terms of marriage. You know, women feel validated when any man wants to marry. They don't care who it is. It could be the, I don't even want to bash, you know, certain type of, but they don't care. Like it's just it's an honor or like, yes, he proposed to me, like, or how women go around, oh, she can't keep a man. Like, what are these saying? What does that mean? Like, keep a man, keep yourself. Listen, when I got on this journey, I realized everything starts and ends with me. It has nothing to do with nobody else.
Yeah.
Start here, in here. Let's worry about everything else. Focus on you. You don't stop. And I was the one who, I grew up early. You know, I was a young mom. I had my child at 19. Again, trying to nurture and help other people. Stop growing up. Stop trying to grow up so fast, young women. Love yourself. But it's up to us as mothers, like me now. I'm going to break that generational curse with my, you know, started young. Like, self-love is so important. That needs to be taught as little kids. Like, you have to start teaching children these things young. It's so important. And if you realize, if you don't want to be like your parents or your grandparents or aunties who were in unhealthy relationships, be the barrier, break those generational curses. Like, you have to really reflect, analyze, and see, okay, why did they go through this? What, you know, what can I do to change this? And it's all about you. Focus on you. Put the work in.
You know, you talked about breaking generational curses. That's such a hard thing to do. It's important. And that's the reason why we came. And that's why we're the black sheep of the families. You know what I mean? And that's why we go through all of the hell and the craziness that we go through, because we're the chosen one. And when I say chosen one, I'm not talking about what everybody else on social media is hyping up as chosen ones. Exactly. We're the chosen one for that generation. We're the chosen one for this family, for this tribe, to break the drinking, the alcoholism, the drugs, the incarceration, the homelessness. Yeah, just all these other stupid stuff that ensnares our people. You know what I mean? And when I say our people, I'm talking about humanity. You know, we have to learn to step up and say, you know what, man, I'm the one that my ancestors was waiting on. I'm the one that's going to stop all this foolishness. You may not like me. You may not respect me. You may not love me. And it's okay. I don't care. You know what I mean? Because I'm not like you. I refuse to be like you. You know what I mean? Because they could have broken it. And the people before them could have broken it. And they knew that it needed to be broken, but they didn't put the work in.
Exactly.
And now you're trying to put the work in. People are going, who do you think you are? What makes you so special?
Exactly. And that's crazy. Like, you know, when you're in this position that we're in, there's a lot of haters, a lot of envy, jealousy, but it's like, like I have people who are jealous of my spiritual gifts, and little do y'all, like, it's not easy being me. Like, you cannot walk a mile in my shoes, and that's why you weren't chosen. It's nothing to be jealous of. Listen, it's a lot of work, but I would never change it. Like, I'm grateful that and honored that my ancestors chose me and knew I was capable of, you know, of doing this. But it's a lot, you know. But that's why I'm such an introvert. I mind my business. I stay to myself, literally. And I've always been this way. Like, I've always been this way. I stay to myself. I have very strong boundaries. I'm inaccessible. I deal with you if I want to deal with you. You can't just have access to me. And it's important for us all to protect our energy and be that way. If they want to call you, oh, you selfish, oh, you stuck up, so be it. That's what it is.
It's interesting you bring that up. I made a video last night and posted it midnight this morning. Access denied. We have to start denying people access to us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And the reality is there's so many people that we want to go to that next level spiritually, but we can't go to that next level spiritually because we're attached to people that we shouldn't be attached to, and they haven't
Exactly.
put the work in. You know what I mean? And then you have all these haters. You were talking about the haters. There's so many people that look at us and like, oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, he looks this way. Man, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this because there's something about us. There's that in Christianity. They say there's that anointing. There's that.
Yep.
There's that presence about
Mm-hmm.
us. That, oh man, I'm gonna be like them. I'm gonna do this. If they could do it, then I could do it. And it's like you don't understand the pain and the hell that I've gone through just to get to this point.
Exactly.
You know, but you think that just because you're gonna copy, you see what I'm doing and you want to copy it, and that's gonna give you the pull. No, it don't
Right.
work like that. Man,
Exactly.
man, you don't know how many times I've meditated and fasted and just gone on shutdown mode and just silenced the whole world out and just me and
Exactly.
God, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But man, this young generation it's something else. But it's not just them, it's the older generation too, because they're going to do that
Yeah.
same
'Cause
thing.
they be stuck in their way. Like one thing I noticed, the younger generation is they could be reckless, but it's like the younger generation, they're the ones who are waking up early,
Yes,
you know, and
yes,
like trying to like doing things different.
yes,
It's trying to the older generation, they just be stuck in their ways and just swear they know it all. It's like,
yes, yes.
no.
And that's the interesting point that you make, you know, because the older generations was so toxic, because the older generations don't talk about their emotions and they don't talk about all the hell that they've gone through. The younger generation, I just talked about this in our live just the other day. The younger generation, they're coming up and they're feeling that abandonment, they're feeling that
Yeah.
that emptiness, and they're longing for something else. They're giving the finger to religion, you know what I mean? And they're just doing their own thing. And they're reckless only in the aspect that there's nobody there to guide them. There's nobody
Exactly.
there to lead them and show them, hey, you got to be responsible about this. Hey, there's some guidelines to this. You know what I mean? And so they're just out there just trying the best that they can. And so it comes
Yeah.
across as being reckless and irresponsible. But that's our fault too, as the older generation, for not
Yeah.
being there to mentor them and to show them the ropes, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But that's why people like us are very important, because we again teach and demonstrate. It's unfortunate that you didn't have guidance,
Yeah.
but now you're responsible for yourself.
Yeah.
So now you can change this. Like we all have choices. Once you are a mature adult, you can comprehend and see things a certain way. It's time to be responsible for yourself. And again, we all create our own reality, right?
Yes.
So very important. Teach accountability, be responsible for yourself. What happened in the past, let's focus on the present. And that was the hard thing for me. That was the biggest challenge for me. Listen, I had control issues. I was so focused on the future. When I learned, listen, the past, you don't worry about the past. You surrender the past and you release the outcome of the future. You just solely focus on the present, today, worry about today. It's like, wow, life is a lot more smoother. You just go with the flow. Like,
that's where your power lies. Your power
yes,
lies in the power of now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
The present moment. You know what I mean? And you control your future by how you control your present moment. You know,
exactly.
if you're grateful now, if you're positive now, if you're loving now, you reap what you sow. We're always manifesting. We're always
Yep.
manifesting. Whether it's negative crap or positive crap, we're always manifesting. So if in the present you're loving and you're thinking positive stuff and you're just on this positive vibe, man, that's how your future is going to be, because those are the seeds that you plant. That's what you're manifesting to come into your life. But if you're all full of doubt and anxiety and fear and stress and all that other drama, man, you're going to reap a whole bunch more of that crap, because what you think about, you bring about.
Yep.
So, man, I thank you for being here. I thank you for opening up and you're
gotta do
bundled.
this.
Yeah, you do. You do. You do. So, but man, I'm so honored to have met you at Sherry's. Man, there's something about you that stood out. It's like, man, I got to talk to this person. I got to get to know them more, because there's something about them. Because you're so quiet, so reserved, and you only said a few things But when you said it, it was like powerful. It's like, oh snap. Ain't nobody peeping up on this, because we're all laughing and acting stupid. And you would
Yeah.
jump in every once in a while, drop your one line and go right back to your silent. And I was like, oh, this girl got some stuff to her.
Yeah. I'm a whole soul. Okay. I got a lot of wisdom. And that's why I'm honored for you to have me here, because, Spirit, they've been on me. They like, you have a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. It's time for you to get out here and teach. And I stand in my own way a lot of the times. I'm a perfectionist. So not the right timing. Timing is an illusion. I need to knock it off and just get out here, because the world, the collective, they need these powerful words that we speak. They really do. Even if it's one person we make a difference for, that's enough. It's for us to deliver this wisdom and this knowledge that the divine has given to us.
Awesome. There's one more topic I want to touch base on.
Sure.
I saw you going like this to your head, and Spirit brought it right back to you.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. No, so seriously, the spiritual movement. And to me, it's like I can't even stand it anymore, because it's so religious now. It's so dogmatic. It's dogmatic, and you got to clean your cards a certain way. You got to sage your house a certain way. You have to meditate a certain way. You know what I mean? You have to do your crystals. People's like, oh, you wear too many crystals at one time and never counteracting. And it's like, shut the hell up. You know what I mean?
Like,
but
what
would you tell some young people now that's getting ready to get started on their spiritual journey, with all that you know about spirituality, all that you know about all these people and their dogmas about? Because we're told that you couldn't buy your first oracle card, or tarot card, somebody had to give them to you, and just how you preserve them and how you keep them and what you keep them in, and just all this other crazy stuff. These young people are going to hear this stuff. You know what I mean? And because they don't know any better, they're going to listen to these people as gurus and as, spokespersons for God or the Most High. And so what would you say to those young people, or even older people, that are just embarking upon this journey of meditating, oracle cards, tarot cards, sage, all these other things, crystals?
Listen, there's no right or wrong way. Do what resonates for you.
Yes.
I listen. Even if I hear someone, who their message may resonate to me, I'm the type, I always go within and meditate on it, or go to source. Like, I never just go off what anybody says, and you have to be that way.
Yeah.
Do not be easily influenced. Do what's best for you. If it resonates for you, that's the thing about spirituality, and I hate that they are now doing that. The true meaning of spirituality is a free spirit. It's your journey. It has nothing to do with no one else, how they're doing it, what they're doing. Like, it works, what works for you. There's no right or wrong way. And it's crazy that you brought that up, because I was having a conversation, I think, with Momo, and we were talking about, YouTube and doing readings and things. And you would see people in the comments, or other readers judging other readers. Oh, wow, you shouldn't be cursing.
Yes.
Like, this is not church. Like, what? And Mama was saying that too. Like, it was an old friend of hers who would cuss and stuff, and she said she was telling her, like, well, you shouldn't cuss because people look. The problem with that is, and this is what I've dealt with a lot, even with men or just people in general. When we are in the position that we're in, again, people put us on pedestals.
Yes.
That's fine, but don't project on me. Just because you're putting me on the pedestal, don't think I'm supposed to be a way that you think I'm supposed to be. No. Yeah. I'm going to run my channel or practice spirituality or whatever. I'm doing how I see fit, how it works for me. Yeah. So what I would say is, listen, follow your own intuition. Do what resonates for you. Do not be easily influenced. You have to tune that noise out, just to turn it off. Yeah. And do what works for you. There's no right or wrong way. That's just, it's crazy. I'd be like, what is wrong?
And it's like everything else in life. All those things are just distractions. Just outside noise to get you off track, to get you disconnected. You know what I mean? And if you're not careful, you'll get off track. and
Yeah.
you'll go down a rabbit hole that is going to be hard for you to come back home. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so, man, thank you for your wisdom, man, such wisdom. We're gonna have you back on again.
Yeah.
And again, your YouTube channel.
Yes, Infinite Goddess Clarity LLC. Okay, I haven't posted in a while, you guys, but I'm coming back strong. And again, in my description section, you will find the link to my website that's coming. I have a lot of great things in store, and I'm not going to speak on it. You know, Spirit say keep your manifestations to yourself until they come out. So just stay tuned, and you'll see more. Hopefully, with me and Elijah collabing and doing other things.
Yes, awesome.
It was on here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Namaste.
Thank you so much.